While going to obtain the thumbnail picture for this video, Cox opened his mouth again, violating the Sabbath day, and added the blame on social media. Social media played a direct role in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. No, the shooter is directly responsible, you dumbass. This case has to be dropped. Trump has to go to the funeral and apologize to Mrs. Kirk and the kids who are too young to know what's going on. They don't understand why Daddy is dead in a coffin. That the case was botched by a Mormon. Also, just found out before we started saving this video, ABC News, not ABC4, ABC News reported an hour ago that Tyler is not cooperating. For those of you who are not from Utah, you don't know what that means. We're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law by a jury of our peers. Not in the state of Utah. Like I tell you in this video, the police, because it's the weekend, will be trying to get him to confess so that they don't have a case to pursue. He's going to plead guilty, and boom, we don't need to worry about no evidence for the case. And so that's what they mean, is that the police have failed to get him to confess to his crimes. It's an illegal tactic. He's supposed to get a lawyer. It means he doesn't have a lawyer yet. It means the bail hearing that was denied to him was before getting a lawyer. So that's different than my situation in 2008, where they purposely held me in custody through the evening to prevent me from going to the courtroom to get assigned a judge, and so that they can also have time I'm hoping that was just because of the video finishing the upload. That's why the camera froze. But in 2008, I was arrested a late Thursday afternoon and held without going to a judge that evening, as they had me in the drunk tank for hours, and then they had me sit in the lobby for hours watching other people come in, get processed, get booked, go to their designated location. And then sometime in the early morning, after trying to do some research to find evidence against me and failing, finding out that all the character witnesses lied, they then had me taken down to the basement to be indefinitely incarcerated for the rest of my life. Oops. Is that the... I could be on the highway. You'd have to watch the video to get to the 6-day talk. And so for 2 weeks, I was denied existing, denied getting a lawyer, denied counsel, denied all my rights. For 2 weeks, as I was stripped naked, tortured, abused, being fed, well, I didn't eat it, spoiled, rotten food. I've done the story about how they fired the one guard who snuck me in an orange, as I'm not supposed to have fruit, let alone fresh fruit. He knew me from my daily attendance at the Jordan River Temple. He knew I was innocent. Nonetheless, and so when I got put into Supermax, I was then able to go to court. I faked an injury to get set free, realizing that they were going to keep me there forever. They had no case, and so they had to get rid of me. They were under orders and paid by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as well as them paying the church for loyalty to do that. And so in this particular case with Tyler, he was able to get his bail immediately denied without a lawyer. And whereas when I finally had my lawyer, he told me, you've got no home to go back to. And you've got no money. And so it's a moot point to get bail for you. And so yes, in this particular case, Tyler does not have a lawyer assigned yet. And so he's being tortured to confess something. He has most likely been put in an adjoining cell. If he was, well, no, he can't be put in isolation like I was. This has gone worldwide. This is saving his life. And so, yeah, they would have put him in Supermax. Maybe it was my old cell. And so they're making a deal with the guy in the cell next to him, wherever they put him, to try to get information out of him so that the cops can then use it against him. And they'll even make stuff up as part of the deal when it goes to trial, that the cellmate said that he's confessed to such and such. But yes, he's clearly not talking to the cellmate next to him, and thus uncooperative. You have the right to remain silent, and they are trying to violate that here in the state of Utah. That's what it means. They're trying to trick him into saying anything so that they can use it against him in a court of law. They have no evidence that ties to Tyler. They have no case. It's a bust. They blew it. And so, yes, now they're saying that he's being uncooperative and getting the press, national press, to spread that as if he's resisting the inevitable. On with the video. Travis Wingoodsell. Back when I was in early morning seminary and we had the Doctrine and Covenants year, which was my final year, my senior year, we started with the Old Testament, went to the New, and went to the Book of Mormon, then finished with the Doctrine and Covenants, church history. We were taught to study our scriptures. This was a short-lived program. They've forbidden it ever since. No studying of scriptures allowed anymore. They've been trying to assassinate all of us to make sure that we're not cloned. Which eye is it? Is it this one? Or you see the dot? That means I've been cloned once. Six-day violation. It is not a tumor. Oh, crap, T. Todd Christofferson has to watch another R-rated movie. It is R-rated, isn't it? Maybe clones aren't considered porn. Nope, PG-13. No, he'll be safe watching it. You know, maybe he's hardened, desensitized after all the R-rated movies he's been forced to watch from my videos and theme songs in the description below. The sacrifices D. Todd Christofferson has to make. And so we were told about the assassination of Joseph Smith, how the United States failed the justice system to prosecute the accused. Can't we just rig it somehow to get them in prison? Get them executed for the crime that they were acquitted for? Back in the second year, which would have been, is it freshman, sophomore, or sophomore, freshman? I think it's freshman, sophomore, so it would be my sophomore year in high school, 9th grade. New Testament. When we got to the assassination of Jesus by those Jews, we were told that, again, a malfeasance of justice occurred. That every single Jewish law was violated in the lawsuit against Jesus. I think it was called Caiaphas v. Jesus Christ, or did they reverse it around, the defendant being first? I think it's the prosecution. So it'd be Caiaphas v. Jesus, Messiah ben David was the original document that found beneath the temple, and they tried to hide it. It's all true. Every single law violated. Having it, the execution on the Sabbath, during Passover, just awful. All of those hedge laws being broken of the Pharisees. They went through a lot of trouble to take away Jews' agency with those hedge laws to protect them from themselves. And so, yeah, lots of chaos, pandemonium did not ensue. But yeah, this is what we were told. So when I was asked to help the church, for which they rejected, in the footnote committee, we had James, who was a person who had studied Jewish law, and he again repeated that every single law was violated in the prosecution of Jesus. Father Alman? So, in the news last night, oh my hell. Oh my hell. So the other news was apparently just two things. Trump tacoed out on Chicago. They scare him. So he's going to Memphis. And SCOTUS approved racial profiling. Yay! Another right of our Constitution destroyed. Yay! The whole world reported on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The whole world. It even got to the attention of Frederick. How you doing, Frederick? About the assassination in Utah by a Mormon. And I have Mormons who are upset with me because a Mormon assassinated Charlie Kirk. Shut up, Travis. Shut up. Shut up. It's worldwide news. Which means there is no room for error on anybody's part on this. And oops. Oopsies. I found a video of a forensic investigator teaching at Jack's University here in the United States. Jack's State University. Not sure where in the United States it is. Do you guys really care? Maybe they have a football team that you know of. We're getting close to the fall. Are they going to be playing the day after Christmas or the day after Thanksgiving? Black Friday? Jack's State. Oh, yep. Yep. Gamecocks? What? Jacksonville State Gamecocks football. That's their football team. Whatever. So yeah, Jacksonville State University. Well, Alabama, where Trump is taking the Space Force to. Getting rid of it from Colorado. The forensic investigator only saw the additional videos shown by Governor Cox, and so he assumed some initial information about the kill shot, as he assumed that it was here. Oops. Kind of important when you're doing forensic investigation that you not make those kinds of boo-boos and just trust whatever somebody else tells you to put in your report. Sorry, Jacksonville State. Oops. But nonetheless, what he was able to witness, he was deeply concerned. The The first concern he had was that they lied about the evidence of the weapon used for the kill shot. They had first been reporting that it was a bolt-action rifle, and that they had found the screw that was to be used to disassemble it, and apparently he didn't have enough time to disassemble it before he ran off into the forest. Well, turns out wasn't a bolt action, so there was no little screw thing needed to disassemble it. It was a Mauser rifle. No, this is, no. Oh my God. So yes, he knows the whole history of the Mauser rifle and was explaining it and blah, blah, blah. His next concern was that because you can't disassemble it, he was concerned about the video footage of the suspect as he was going up to the roof and running off the roof. I don't see a weapon. I don't see the rifle. The whole world is watching. I saw this morning that Governor Cox is skipping church to do the news tour. Skipping church. D. Todd Christofferson, if you're listening, get him! Get him! That needs to be the title. God, Skips Church. Oh my God. Oh, we're not done yet. We've still got all this for the assassination. Oh my God. Fortunately for Tyler, this is worldwide covered. That is his only salvation here. Because for me in 2008, no, they erased me from history. And when I had gotten out in 2014, I had gone to the Tabernacle to be at a devotional talk by one of the apostles. And across the balcony, I was on the second level place. A woman saw and noticed me from across the way and knew that I was from Rick's, where she recognized me. Or, no, she knew me from the older singles ward. Yeah, would have been the older singles ward, because she may have been there at Rick's too, but I had trouble remembering her. But nonetheless, she's saying, I hadn't seen you in a while. I'm wondering what happened. Talk to D. Todd. He'll tell you, and he'll lie. So yes, everything was violated in both federal and state laws, and local, city, and county, everything. And I was disappeared because they never made it in the press. They kept me out of it. Nobody knew other than my parents, who went around and told everybody how their son is a terrorist. He's gonna blow up buildings. I've gone over with how they wanted me out of the house too, that they themselves caused. With Tyler, no, he's just a young'un. He just barely got back from his mission. He's going to college. He's going to get himself a job and get out eventually, but apparently Daddy wanted him out quicker. But I understand. My dad threw in some extra accusations. Yeah, he raped a woman. He solves his problems with violence. Are we talking about you, Dad? What about that woman from the haystack? What about you hitting me? Who? Nonetheless, yeah, Tyler is likewise. All his family, all his friends, all his church members are all turning on him. Now all of a sudden they're remembering all these things he must have said, and how they feel about a terrorist living among them who shot their dream idol, Charlie Kirk. Now, this is ugly if it wasn't so screwed up massively. But this is where I showed my concern for how screwed up this is. How nobody in the field could do this bad of a job if there's not something that they're purposely, intentionally covering up. And I've seen the movies and the TV shows of the person who ordered the assassination of a spouse, and that person is right there consoling the widow. We're gonna make sure we get this person. Anything you need, we'll take care of you. And you see how evil that person is in the show. And yet, all indicators are leading straight to the conclusion that we're witnessing the same situation. Right, Governor Cox? Sabbath day skipper? Sabbath day violator? Ooh, there's a good title for a super villain. The Sabbath day violator. Get his action card now and play the game. Don't play Magic this Christmas. Play Mormons versus Danites. So, I'm just going to read off the list. Read them off. Because this is just awful. how botched this is. So, we have judge tampering, jury tampering, witness tampering, conspiracy to cover up. There's absolutely no evidence connected to Tyler. None. Evidence tampering. There are no ammo markings. They don't exist. KUTV2 was still talking about it yesterday. Everybody else has stopped on that one and hopes that everybody forgot. And there's KUTV2 News. Ooh, what motive can be behind the markings on the ammo? So yes, it's a different rifle now. The video evidence shows he never even possessed the rifle. Wrong trajectory. It came from the Fugel building, whatever it's called, rather than the Luz E building that he was supposedly on. Oh dear God. He is not shown wearing gloves, and yet they weren't able to obtain any fingerprints. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, and so because of the trajectory, it's now a magic bullet. Nobody bought that under Kennedy. Why would anybody buy it now? The Kennedy documents were just released. We all know it was the CIA. Oh my hell. Oh my God. They also screwed it up in the beginning by arresting the wrong person and ruined his career until everybody realized that he was freed. But you're going to have people who are not going to keep watching the news. They're just going to hear the report, we got a guy, we got him in custody, a person of interest, and then they'll see the video of him being dragged with a cross on his back to Golgotha. Welcome to America, you Canadian. And so they already have a wrongful arrest from the beginning already. And now it looks like the evidence tampering and all the other tamperings are also indicating that the second one, Tyler, is also a wrongful arrest. But they've already screwed it up with the judge to deny him bail. But he is poor. How is he going to pay for bail? His daddy threw him under the bus. He doesn't want him coming back. Dear God, they have destroyed his life. And he's not even been found guilty yet. There is no evidence tying him to the shooting, and his life is ruined. You know, sort of like that starting quarterback for BYU who was accused of rape by the woman who confessed that it was all a lie. And his life was ruined, and he had to move out of Utah. Not a single person went back to him saying, I'm sorry you were falsely accused. Here's your starting position back on BYU. Here's your temple recommend back. The church is offering you actual restoration for damages. We have excommunicated and removed from BYU that other woman. Nope. Nope. It's all about ruining people's lives with no restoration, no apology, no confession of guilt, no nothing. This is what the church teaches Mormons. And so, ordering a press and an internet blackout. Cox, get off your internet, get off your cell phone, stop watching the press. Do you see the conspiracy to cover up? And so you also have Secretary of State Rubio, who comes out and says, anybody who does not accept our narrative of the events, we're going to come after you and prosecute you as conspiratorial terrorists. Oh, also with the ammo for evidence tampering, they didn't even run ballistics. They don't even know if the ammo was the actual type of ammo that was used, and it's, oh my God. And if you're, is it the bolt action? I guess it wasn't. So that's why they got rid of the bolt action. Put in the Mauser, because maybe that is the one. But again, a defense attorney would rip this case to shreds. And yet he's going to be given a Utah Mormon court defender who's being ordered to just get a quick plea deal from the guy. He turned himself in. No confession, but he turned himself in and was denied bail. I didn't hear anything about him pleading, because obviously it's still in the process, but I mean, yeah, he's gonna plead not guilty, I hope. Because if he had nothing to do with it, which is what the evidence all says, he would be the stupidest person in the universe next to Oakes and Anderson. Oh, you didn't see that video yet? Which, yes, that would be why he would turn himself in, because he knows that they made a mistake, and yet they're still going through with it. They've booked him, and they've denied him bail. They're keeping him over the weekend to skip church too. So I have not heard anything about any kind of confession, but this is what they're doing to him. They're torturing him right now to force a confession out of him. You did it, say you did it. You violated your temple covenants. You're not married. You're a sinner. Confess. And there are many that I witnessed in 2008 who said I didn't do it, but they're offering me a way out. I got to get back to my family. I got to get back to work. I got to get back to my property. So I'll just take the plea deal and get out with time served. It is just awful what goes on here in Utah. Just awful. And so they're, as a result, trying to establish a motive without a case. They've got no case. There is no evidence tying Tyler to any of this. None. There is no case. The whole world is watching, and they're just in denial that there's no case and pushing forward with this. And so they're trying to find a motive. We're going to find somebody who's going to tell us exactly what we want to hear to use them as a character witness. So thus character witness tampering, which doesn't get put on until where's the character witnesses? Did I not put it down? Oh, that's a good thing I put it on or said it, because I'm not seeing the character witness. Oh, no, there it is. Obtaining false character witness statements. There it is. There it is. And so that's what they're doing, is trying to find a motive by getting people to lie as character witnesses. Right, Mom and Dad? I know about this. That's why they were humiliated. They had no case against me either. They still went forward with it, but because it didn't go worldwide in the press, they were able to cover it all up and hide it. But when they tried to force me on drugs, that's when my dumbass lawyer finally was able to do something and point out, Your Honor, number 3, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is referred to as a government entity. Will Shirtlift be making the change? We'll get back to you on this one, Your Honor. Oh! Yeah, they had no case. It was being ripped to shreds there in the courtroom. And so, yeah, they dropped that. They sent me back to be physically tortured instead. Dear God. Unbelievable. So yeah, this is what they're doing. They're trying to create a case, creatio ex nihilo. They're going to ruin his reputation, just utterly destroy him, so that everybody around the whole world thinks he's the enemy. And like I said, no single evidence connects him to this shooting. They have no case. They're creating it. They're manufacturing it out of nothing. And so the local press reporter, is she KUTV2 or KSL? I think she's KUTV2, because because KSL has some different people. So I think she's KUTV2. I don't think she's ABC4. It's definitely not Fox 13. But she brought her son to the event. And so because she was a known reporter at the event with her son, she wasn't there on the job to report on it. But because of the assassination, the other press that arrived immediately began interviewing her, being there at the scene. And she failed to correctly report it. As an anchor woman for most likely KUTV2. How, who, what, where, when, to what extent, not why. That's what you're supposed to report. You don't read from a script about people's emotions and responses and reactions. How, who, what, where, when, and to what extent. That's how you report. She knows this, unless it was at BYU. Which, yeah, oops. Everybody else in the world, however, she failed. They allowed about 3,000 eyewitnesses to flee the scene. And go home to be interviewed about their emotional response videos. They didn't interview them first. I mean, yes, there were people who were forced to leave their backpacks and other items behind. Eventually, I guess they got the cell phones to get the video footage, unless it was from the buildings. But all of their recordings on their cell phones that went viral all over the world, all of that is evidence that Tyler is innocent. They're supposed to interview each and every one of them. They're supposed to learn their background history, why they're there, and all this information they were supposed to do if they're going to do a thorough job. Looking for the video footage. Well, it's actually this way because it's not on the camera. It's the Fugal building, looking for somebody there, and they never did. And now time has gone by. Every single hour, every single day, they're losing the person who actually did it. They're now able to get away. Because you know that they would have also been concealed. And apparently they got away with it. Dear God. And so calls for the death penalty, this is part judicial tampering, part jury tampering. You can't do that prematurely. And Cox is out there doing the tours saying, we're going to get this guy. We got him. We're going to assassinate him. And so, yeah, Tyler is poor and young. He's not going to be able to afford a good lawyer. And that's a disadvantage here, is that the world are going to witness him getting framed and blamed and accused and convicted, because he can't get a fair trial anywhere in the whole entire world now. Despite the evidence saying he cannot be the guy, he cannot get a fair trial. All they have to do is put on Mrs. Kirk, yeah, Star Trek, Kirk. And her crying about how she's lost a good man, the father of her kids, as they will never grow up to have a daddy, which has nothing to do with evidence in the courtroom. And the whole jury will be crying, their hero, Charlie Kirk, murdered by you, I blame you. They'll be screaming for the death penalty before they even begin the court proceedings. God. And betrayed by his family, his friends, his church. All he wants to do is get out of his parents' house with a job that'll be enough to live. And yeah, he was going into to be an electrician for the housing crisis that we are in because the government failed under orders of the church. And so yeah, it was a brilliant move to go into be an electrician, but not good enough. Just like my parents, just like my first wife. You are not giving me my white picket fence with my own car to go shopping on a credit card quick enough for me. I'm out. Travis, President Hinckley's family proclamation says you've got to provide immediately a white picket fence with her own car and her credit cards to go shopping while you're slaving at work. You are committing sin. I just barely graduated. I've got a full-time job during the Christmas time rush to work overtime. I just deciphered Paleo-Hebrew in the spare minutes that I had every day for 6 months, with a combined total of probably 3 days. Which, if you understood, would have made me the most important person in the universe for this discovery. Nope. Kill him! And so, like, obviously he has no history of crime, no gun history, which is surprising. He's a Utah Mormon. No gun? No rifle experience? No shooting experience? What's up with that? And so again, they have to manufacture a lie to get them. To get character witnesses to overwhelm the court, to distract away from the fact that the evidence don't lead to him as the guilty party. That's why Cox is online doing interviews and taking control of the case. Because there's a cover-up going on. And so worldwide press are only reading from the script that Cox is telling them. And like I said, unless these rogue press are getting forensic investigators on their show, rogue prosecutors, the press is only making the problem worse, ignoring that the evidence does not match to him as the victim, as the perpetrator, that there is no case, that they're only interviewing friends and neighbors and family members and church ward members who all want to lie about him. Oh yeah, I knew there was something wrong about him. I felt that there was something wrong about him. He was so quiet. Yeah, he was thinking about murder. I know it. Yeah, this is awful, what is being done to him. And it is just horrifying that the press, likewise, because of the 80s, with the housewives complaining of the violence on TV, and so the press was denied reporting the live scenes so that people could actually see for themselves what happened. you had Rodney King. You had the video footage of him getting beat down. And so, yeah, they had no other option but to settle the case for the restoration of damages. With Floyd, George Floyd, the big famous case from 2020 for the reason why the Black Lives Matter protests went on. People were there recording on their cell phones, live on the internet, the beatdown and assassination by the cops. And this is what we are now seeing with the transition that has taken place over the decades to deny the press from being the press. That they can't cover the footage, that they have to cut it off and read from a script, that they are not allowed to report what they are reporting on live at the scene. They have to get the police chief's reporting of it, or in this case the governor, and they have to just report what they said. And this is where cover-ups come from. You know, if you've done nothing wrong, you've got everything to fear in a police state. They will frame you and blame you if you've done nothing wrong. And especially with the technology age of internet and AI that can alter your identity, create deep fake videos. And so, yeah, there were some of that. People trying to clear up the bad photograph so that people can figure out who the guy is. And they're saying, no AI pictures, we're the ones that will give you the information we want you to have. It's awful. And so, all of this, you know, they make it so that you can't trust the individuals there who were recording it. They tell you, oh, that's just deep fake AI forgeries. Trust us that we cut off the camera so that you couldn't see what happened and where the trajectory was coming from. I saw that in Las Vegas at that shooting. They would not allow the actual footage of the heads getting blown off, the big hole in his chest just massively blown out, and there he is finding his buddy at the hospital. Oh dude, wow, and this big old gauze, pure clean white, just lying on top of his chest without being taped down, no blood. Oh my God. And then they would go on, see, we're having a funeral. People died. We're not crisis actors. No. No. And so yes, you've got all this crap that is trying to tamper with the scene as well. So you've got the people there firsthand recording it. You have the press that won't record it because it's too violent. And then you have bad actors who are purposely lying and putting in fake content to try to add further confusion to all of this. Dear God. A nightmare on 47th Street. You do know where the administration building is? 47 East South Temple. So, as I've been telling you before the incident and during the incident about how to investigate the crime scene of the church history, sure enough, there's this crime scene. What was Charlie Kirk talking about in his video streaming content, in his interviewing? What was he discussing? Well, he was calling for the Epstein files to get released. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And now you've got him wanting to have exposed high-profile government leaders all over the world, as one of them got exposed to be hidden during the Epstein assassination, or the Kirk assassination. The UK ambassador to the US, and I went and showed you directly from the blacklist that I have. Nobody else has it. I have the exclusive blacklist, and I went and checked it. Sure enough, there he was. Nobody else has it. They're all demanding it be released. I've got it. Trump is saying it doesn't exist. There's nothing here. Ghislaine Maxwell lied to a federal investigator because she's on the list. Exactly. And so, yeah, there's even a Mormon on the list. Huntsman Jr. and his wife. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has also an invested interest in getting the Epstein case covered up and hidden. Right, D. Todd Christofferson? As it is your job to be the fixer for this? Is that your orders from the corporate board to hire an assassin? Don't tell me you didn't hire an assassin for me. You hired a number of them, and the ones that failed, you punished them. Don't try telling me about that. I know what you did to my brother. This is where the conspiracy to cover up comes in. You need to know what Kirk was talking about prior to getting assassinated. Not about how he was thinking Mormons are good people. Thank you for the Book of Mormon. I promise I'll read it. None of that crap. No. Before the event, when they knew that he was going there, so that they can plan it in advance. Premeditatively plan. And again, this is premeditated. This was a professional hit. Somebody would have hired him. One shot. And the casing apparently was left in the Mauser, not the bolt action. So again, after the event took place, who is rushing to protest too much? Who is rushing to give praise, to shower with awards, to come out on camera as being the good guy? Cox, Lee, Curtis, Trump. If it's Trump, I'm going to be pissed with him. You don't need to create a scenario to go after the church. I told you, they've got all the documents. Just go in. What are you doing? They're going to assassinate you. You don't need to make up lies about the church. They already lie themselves. Get them before they get you. Piss me off. I gave you all the documents, all the evidence, all the receipts, the whole playbook, the characters involved, the whole plot for the 200 years. What are you doing? You stable genius. Oh my bleeping hell. And so, yes, the ones that were hiding, you also need to pay attention to. Church News immediately rushed with some other person for the church, saying, we just heard of an assassination in Utah. The church condemns this. We're going to say the name Charlie Kirk. I don't cover it in the Church News videos. On purpose. Invalid. 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 Yep, Oaks, I've got a new clip from you. I've had it in the segment video, but now it's a separate clip itself. So yes, 2 days later, after I checked normal time for the Church News on Friday, as they were hoping to even keep it hidden for even a couple more days of the weekend, to hide it from everybody. And what do you know, Travis didn't go for it this time. He checked a second time. There it is. And supposedly it's by the first presidency giving a statement. They don't say the name. They lie. They lie. Exactly. The church gave a delayed response. Oops. This also needs to be factored into the investigation. This was on Utah soil. A Mormon is being accused. And here the church is coming out and throwing the Mormon under the bus, whereas other Mormons go free, get away with it. selective statements by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They do selective news coverage for disasters around the world, when they won't even talk about the ones here in Utah or in many of the United States. They won't cover certain events, only the ones in which they're involved in criminal activity, wanting to put a front for charity or for relationships. It's all a scam. Selective church news statements and articles, postings. And so yes, because of the Strengthening Church Members Committee, David Todd Christofferson is reviewing the case. Not just my videos. Hey Todd, you're a naughty boy. And so yes, he's the one that is the spokesperson for the church to any of the local leaders or in the case that's going on here for consultation. Whatever. And so there's prosecutorial tampering. Legal defense tampering. We need to add that in. We've got room here. Legal defense tampering. So yes, the whole thing is screwed up. It's got to be dismissed instantly because of all of this crap. They botched it big time, and there's no way they can recover. So yes, he's supposed to be set free and never be tried for any of this ever again. They blew it. So if by chance somehow he is the perpetrator and the actual shooter, they botched it so badly that they let the actual shooter go, regardless of who it is. And like I said, the real shooter was over on the Fugel building, not the Lose E building. So, yeah, obtaining false character witness statements to destroy him without a case. They're getting perjury statements as they don't have a case. All of the evidence is all a lie, and they keep changing the evidence. And so when they go into the court officially, it'll be called perjury. All of the witness statements will be perjured. All of the character witnesses are going to be perjured. The jury will be tampered. The prosecution will be perjuring himself. The judge, oops, supposed to recuse if you're a Mormon. If you're a prosecutor and you're a Mormon, you got to recuse. I can't take this case. This might have to do with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Got to recuse. The jury, are you or have you ever been affiliated with the Church of Jesus Christ? Yes. Thank you for coming. Goodbye. That's why any criminal case in Utah is unjust. It is too dominated by Mormons and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Required recusals. And so the judge, likewise, once they introduce Mormon, the judge is a Mormon. He pays tithing to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as part of their criminal operation. Gotta recuse. Gotta confess and turn yourself in for your own prosecution. And so, yes, there's prosecutorial abuse of the justice system, not just for the need to recuse, because Cox is doing the tour on the Sabbath day. And in worldwide vilification. Tyler has no escape. See, my mom, to her dying day, still believed, despite the news that came out and said, oops, it wasn't him, that Saddam Hussein caused 9/11. Still to her dying day. 12/21/21. From 9/11, 2001. To her dying day, she believed Saddam Hussein did it. And it was reinforced when my cousin Darren was one of the JAG attorneys on the case, of a billion of them. And so, yes, my mom could never be convinced in Osama bin Laden, even though there's some scandal of AI photoshopping and video fakes that also came out. Nonetheless, nope, Saddam Hussein did it. You're going to have a whole bunch of those kinds of people who heard in the beginning and heard from church today that a Mormon assassinated Charlie Kirk. They will never watch the news. You know, there are probably still some who believe that Toronto man was the shooter. So when they say that he was a Mormon, yeah, a Mormon, yeah, from St. George. Oh, yeah, I saw the video of the old man getting... No, not him. What? No, I saw it. They brought him into custody. No, that wasn't him. No, it's him. I saw it. Don't tell me the news was lying. You're gonna have these problems now because the news botched it, because Cox tampered with this. And so, yes, he's guilty before he even got arrested. Turning himself in. Do I not have turned himself in? I don't. So yeah, turned himself in. They didn't find him. He turned himself in. And so, yeah, the FBI and Cox are lying about the evidence. And that's being spread by the press. And then cell phone videos are being ignored about the kill shot. And they're trying to claim that all video footages are likely AI fakes. Even the Utah Attorney General, oops, Mormon, newly put in this year, Mormon, compromised to the church. He's promising a conviction. Oh, did you get your degree from BYU? Yep. Prosecutorial tampering. promising the public that Tyler will be convicted. Yeah, it was bad enough that you're prostituting your wife. As somebody compromised to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But damn, promising a conviction of Tyler, huh? You bastard. And so yes, even psychologists are swooping in for the character witness tampering to say, oh yeah, I witnessed Tyler having murdered him. You saw him? Well, that's what, yeah. And so I'm now emotionally distressed. I'm gonna sue Tyler and get money for emotional damages. I have to go see a psycho now, and they're putting me on these expensive drugs to help support Big Pharma. And psychos are getting kickbacks from Big Pharma. They say I need it. I'm mentally retarded now. And it's causing side effects to require more Big Pharma drugs. There's permanent damage caused by my emotions. I'm trying to decide whether to get an alligator or a pit bull for my emotional support animal. And these psychos are likewise calling for a press and an internet blackout to heal America and the world. And in the same process, they're recruiting for for new clients to profit off of this. You know, it's one thing that when you get in a car accident, one call, that's all, from a guy who was arrested for drunk driving. What's the billboard? I saw his billboard, it's back up again. To hang around the hospitals looking for people who need a lawyer to handle the case. And yeah, and there's jokes about them on TV shows and movies, but still, it's related to the job to get you damages for the injury that you sustained. But psychos are not lawyers. They're not there to defend your case. They're there separately as a separate business entity to manipulate you as a victim of what you witnessed, to abuse you with drugging, with the continual psycho treatment of being a client, telling you that you're mentally retarded for the rest of your life. Yeah, oh, yeah. Once a victim of crime, always a victim of crime. You'll never be healed. I'm the only one who can help you with your problem of mental retardation. I really think you should take these drugs. They're brand new from Big Pharma. I get extra kickbacks for the new stuff. However, because the whole world is watching, they already know it's being botched, but they're blaming Kash Patel. Because Kash Patel, previously this year, or whenever he got put in, or maybe it was just Trump who got rid of the person here in Utah in Salt Lake office, fired the Pakistani. What about the Pakistani? Oh my God, when I heard that a Pakistani was in charge of the FBI, no wonder all my lawsuits did not get heard. Oh dear God. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, funding terrorism and requiring a favor, though, to protect them from criminal prosecution. Dear God. And so, yes, this is a high-profile case. Kirk was a high-profile victim of assassination. And already everybody knows that it's been botched. Because people know that if you botch a case, it gets dismissed on a technicality. Under normal circumstances outside of Utah. And so the whole world is going to see this botched case get created to put Tyler on death row. This is just sad and pathetic. Dershowitz, can't you do anything here? Come on, man. You don't need the money. Help this guy. Somebody help this guy. Because I think Cochran, I think he's dead. I think he died. I don't know. Should we check? The one for Stormy Daniels, is he out of prison yet? Michael Cohen can't do it. Rudy Giuliani can't do it. Come on, Google. They're bleeping bleeps. So yes, come to Zion to get the uncensored editions of my videos. Is it Jimmy Cochran? I do know Dershowitz is still around. He's been interviewed concerning his involvement with the Epstein files. Oops, I guess he has to recuse himself then. Come on, Google. God damn. No, I don't want Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Cochran, lawyer. No. Johnny Cochran. Craig Swap and Associates. One call at Stillwell. Johnny Cochran. Yeah, died 2005. Crap. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Brilliant. Just brilliant. See, that's what Tyler needs. Is somebody who just says, wait a minute, what? This glove he was wearing? Seriously? You're trying to pull that on me? My client? Get out of here. Alrighty.